Okay, this is a video comparing the Royall trifonium resonator guitar with this shiny plate on it versus the National M1, which is eerily similar. Yeah, same kind of binding. This one has a painted cover plate. So let's just play a little bit on these. These are both more or less set up for flat picking, not really for slide. Some of that same stuff over here. And I'll just play some chords on this one now. Actually, you know what? I'll try to start with that other one first each time. So here we go. Okay, and a few higher notes. You know, I don't really play. It's a 12 fret, so I don't play too far up anyway, but okay, I'll start on this other guy. Now over here, okay, so there you have it. What do you think? Spacing is very similar spacing on the necks. Very similar look. Binding. This is a slightly different shade of wood. Those headstocks both have tuners glommed onto them, but slot heads. The kind of profile here on the neck headstock transition is slightly different. I should probably take that capo off to illustrate that. Yeah, it feels a little bit different, but this one has a more pronounced heel. Yeah, back. Yeah, I reckon they're both mahogany plywood. Yeah, this has a little ivoroid heel, but so they're so similar. This one has this little pickup on it with that, which I haven't even tried, in knobs to go with it. Okay, that's that. Hope that was helpful. An interesting detail on this Royale is because it's got a metal soundwell. They use these machine screws for the holes. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the National has like twice as many screw holes, and those are wood screws that go into plywood. Whereas these are machine screws that go into presumably metal. So that's kind of a nice detail, I think. Okay, I've got these two guitars down in our gear room, and took off the lids so we can take a look underneath, see what's going on. And so the National here has this aluminum T-bar, and this is probably also aluminum, but it's painted black. I don't think it's a plastic item, but it's considerably smaller. It's lighter weight than the National one, and so I've got a little scale here, and can just throw these two on the scale real quick. Actually, you know what I'll do is put it on top of this handy cooler. It's on a flat, hard surface. Okay. That's all over the place. It's at 2 grams. Okay, we get at least some idea. This is not rocket surgery here, but okay, that's something like 55 grams for the National piece. And then this guy is coming in at 29 grams, 28 grams. It's a considerable difference. And I think a lighter weight part can brighten up the tone. I put a carbon biscuit on one of my other guitars, and it made it a lot more ringy, high frequency-ish. And I think that's probably what that kind of jives with what I was hearing from the oh yeah, super reliable. Turn it on, come on. Alright, I'll learn how to use a scale one day. Wait, one more time. Okay, now it's 42. That's interesting. 46. 0, 44, and minus 2 to 27. Yeah, well, anyway, you get the idea. These guys are, there's a big weight difference. That's pretty significant weight difference for a resonator bridge, in my opinion. And you can really feel the difference when you're holding it in your hand. So, now, one of these little cones came loose. Throw this on there. It's saying it's about 5 grams. And I'll pull one off of here. More like 7 grams. That's so, you know, grams is important for cones too. Or is it? Yeah, this scale kind of sucks, but, or this setup for the scale sucks, but 6. And then versus our other cone. Watch me wrestle with this cone here. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a lighter cone. So that's interesting. And so I'm going to take a look underneath here, as it were. I got all these cones off. And yeah, check it out. So this is what's inside the National. It's a wooden, it's a CNC wooden cone holder, or whatever you call soundwell, and has some little braces underneath here that brace against the body of the guitar, presumably for some sort of sound transfer, like a sound post in a violin, I would guess. Now check this out. This guy has, let's set these guys to the side. Yeah. Okay. So underneath there is a lot more bracing actually, and it's a metal soundwell, which I guess is stamped. It's probably easier to make. And there's some more supports. There's this support here, and then the two we saw on the National, and there's an additional support under here, and then I would expect, yeah, one more. So each soundwell has one of these little posts under it for, I guess, for additional strength. So that's interesting, isn't it? A metal soundwell, additional supports. And then this one has a plywood soundwell and fewer supports. They both have a big neck stick, I guess, running underneath this thing, like you might find on a banjo. Okay, so that's that. That's the internal comparison of these two, the Royall and the National. Okay, well, I really wanted to try out the National hardware in the Royall, but the little holes in the National cones are smaller than the holes in these continental cones that come with the Royall. And also, the National bridge is a good bit lower than the Royall. So if I put all the National stuff into the Royall, the strings are just on the fretboard. So it's not a very good comparison. Couldn't tell much from doing that. So what I did was the opposite. I took the Royall stuff and put it in the National. And as you can see, the action is pretty high. And the break angle, you know, a lot of people talk about break angle being important, but obviously that's not going to be ideal either. Yeah, to make this be playable with this Royall stuff, this bridge would have to come way down. But anyway, I tuned it up, and so you can. Here it's not that great to play because it's so high. Okay, well anyway, so there you go. There's the Swaparoo hardware, Royall and the National, and now I'm going to switch it right back, I guess. All right.